Hey everybody, today we're going to be going on a little trip into electricity land. My microwave has decided it's going to stop working, and by stop working I mean technically it sort of works, but this is me plugging it back in. Yeah. Can pretend that didn't happen. What you saw before nothing happened was this microwave, whenever you plug it in, will turn on the magnetron, and this will all mess up, and you can't turn it off, you can't stop it, and it just gets louder and louder as it goes. That's not good. So, microwave's busted. I went and did a little bit of poking around and research, and I think I found out what the problem is. Besides whoever installed that doing it wrong. In the basement, next to my electrical panel, so I can show you. That, right there, is the wrong breaker, and it has the microwave going through it. I think that's the problem. To put it simply, it kept flipping the breaker because what's actually supposed to be here is a 20, this is a 15, and apparently constantly being flipped at the breaker has both damaged the breaker and the microwave. So our current plan is to turn the power off, pop this thing out, swap that breaker for the correct one, then we're going to go and test the outlet upstairs to see if I have to swap that outlet or not, and if all goes according to plan, I'll have a working microwave by tonight. Because once I have all the electronics sorted out, I just have to put the new microwave in. Now I've got the new part tools, my portable lamp, and the audacity to do this, and we're going to turn off the main breaker for the whole house, take this thing apart, put this little guy in. One, it's literally pop these screws off, the whole thing comes off. Do not do this if you do not know what you're doing. It is very dangerous, can totally kill you if you do it wrong. Now that that's off, you can see the beautiful guts. We're literally just going to pop that thing out and unscrew those wires and screw them into the new breaker and go about our business. Also, if you don't know how to pop these off the bar, you shouldn't be this far into your electric. After a few nail-biting minutes, because if you've done something wrong or you're about to do something wrong, this is where you die. We've got the correct wires attached to the correct part. Now we just need to reseat it. Now we're reseated. We're going to put the panel back on, and don't turn the main power back on until you have the panel back on. It's safer that way. All right, now moment of truth. If I did anything majorly wrong, we're going to get sparks. Now, the way I was taught was that you turn off all your breakers before you restart the entire panel. Then you turn the main one on. Then you slowly restart things, one at a time. I'm going to restart the one that we just installed brand new last. Give it like a 10-second count between each. Dryer is back on. Uh-oh. There we go. Hopefully I don't have to replace that one. And there goes the house vent. There we go. Alright, nothing exploded. Sweet. Alright, with the actual dangerous stuff done, now onto the sort of dangerous stuff. We're going to be popping those screws, and I'm assuming that when you do that, it'll fall down onto my oven and then onto my feet, which means it'll be uninstalled. Now, when you're doing that, be aware that inside of your microwave is a bunch of capacitors and other electronics, some of which will still be holding a charge, so don't kill yourself. This part you might need a friend or to be smarter than I am, because as you unscrew these, it kind of slowly lowers itself, and the way I'm set up is that's going to be a bad time, so I'm going to get some help. Part of the problem we ran into is the cutout for this box is too small, and whenever they put this in, they bent this and it was pushing against this to where it wasn't plugged in the entire way. Didn't notice it until I started to fix everything else, so we're going to cut that out with a good old multi-tool with a cutting blade on the end. We're going to cut that out to the right shape while avoiding touching the wires, and that should help us from having a plug that's not fully connected while still having its full cover on. There we go, that's what it looks like when you use that tool almost correctly, but way better than the way the house flipper left it, and it'll actually allow me to plug this fully in flush. Alright, now we're going to pop those, and it should leave the entire microwave hanging on a hanger that's behind this machine. We should be able to just slowly let it down, then lift off and pull, but we're going to see if that's actually the case here or not. We've seen some weird stuff with the person who installed all this stuff in this house before flipping it. Sadly, because I'm kind of here by myself, and I'm going to need both hands for this. You're just going to have to see the aftermath. Hopefully it doesn't fall, hit that, and take out my ladder and my legs. So my current plan is to hold it with my knee while I unscrew it, and then if there's a bracket back there, it'll hold it up enough for me to lift with my hands and pull it out under my own control. Alright, all 3 bolts are fully out. It's only being held up by my knee and a bracket back there if there is one. Let's see if... oh god, no, it's just going to keep coming. Why? Oh, spacers. Cool. That's neat. Please tell me there's a bracket. Stand by. Okay, I am feeling a pivot point back there, so I think there's a bracket. Alright, let's see if I can just pick this up with my hands. Oh, thank God, there was a bracket back there, and I was able to pick it up, throw it on the floor, with only smashing my finger one time. I'll count that as a win. Alright, let's see what this new microwave gives us to work with out of the box. It would be amazingly helpful if I read my instructions before I cut this open. Yeah, you're supposed to cut along the entire bottom of this thing, and then just lift the rest of the box off. I am not a smart man. That was so much easier doing it the correct way. Holy crap. Alright, I found the bracket in that box. We're going to see if it is compatible with the one that's already there. And if it is, it means, thank God, that I can just avoid having to take that one down and putting this one up. The hook for there lines up. The hook for that lines up. However, this one's got 2 extra hooks. I'm going to have to check the bottom of the product to see if I can make that work. Bad news me, those are the only 2 cutouts for it, and where the other 2 slots are would be connecting directly to the material of the microwave, so no go. I'm gonna have to swap that out. We got the new one in, it's already been leveled, and it's screwed directly into 2x4 back there. However, I need drywall anchors for the other 2 sides because there's no wood between here and here, apparently. So, I need to make a run to the store because I don't have any more of those. Yay! Beautiful holes I made looking for wood can be patched with this real quick. Squirt, scrape, let it dry, sand down. These as my drywall anchors. The kit for the microwave came with 2, and I grabbed 2 more. Get it packed like this from Harbor Freight for a couple of bucks. Alright, we got the new panel in. I did 2 extra screws just because I never liked the concept of using drywall anchors when I would prefer having more attachment to stud, but it's just a little bit too short. The stud is right behind here. Can't really do anything there. And the other stud's right over here. So we got 1 stud and 2 drywall anchors. That should be more than enough to hold it up, and we're going to have 2 stabilizing screws up here. It will come with a template so you know where to drill those holes at. I'm hoping the holes from the last microwave will be fine. If not, I'll drill some new ones. I'm getting ready to go verify that. It'll also have directions on how to do that correctly. Go ahead and read those if you've never done it before. I'm currently operating off of memory and I've already made 2 mistakes. So they give you directions for a reason. Don't be stupid like me. Trick I've learned, if you don't have the template for one reason or another, you can put some Sharpie on the top of this real heavy, put this onto the bracket where it's leaning, flip it up, let this touch the top of the cabinet, and you now have a mark to drill through. That's what I'm actually going to do just because I don't like faffing about with trying to hold that piece of paper up. I know this is technically more difficult, but for some reason my brain will function with this, but not with the paper. A little bit of fighting with it because it was just a little bit too tight. We've got it on the rack back there. We've got it screwed in on the top after following the template or my little trick, and got our little spacer blocks. By the way, some cabinets are going to need you to have little spacer blocks to make it work out so you don't put too much stress on the cabinet or on the metal of the microwave. But we got all that done. Now I'm going to peel this off and plug it in and see how we do. There you go. Oh, there's a lot of plastic on this thing. Moment of truth. We've got some leftovers. I'm gonna plug it in and see if we accidentally blow ourselves up. Also, there was directions in there about installing that filter, but it was already installed the correct way. And I don't, like, there's no plastic in there. So we're gonna call that good. Into the plug. All right, there you go. In there, fully seated, unlike the last way it was. And it just did a thing. Food. There you go. 3 seconds. It's working. There's no sparks. I feel like a champion, even though this should not have been that big of a deal. That was my journey replacing the broken microwave, the breaker, and everything else that was wrong with this thing. Yay!